Congrats, Paul, on your top 8.
Thanks, Troll.
Let's look at your deck profile.
Alright, so I played Draco Pals. It's a really standard list. So 3 Pendulum Sorcerers just to search everything. 2 Silver Claws and 2 Lizard Draws as high scales. I kind of wanted to play 3 of Silver Claw, but I didn't want everyone to think I'm bad. So I just played 2, and 2 Lizard Draw was fine. At some points I wanted to have more than 1 of each, because there was one game I opened up literally 2 of both of them. And yeah, it wasn't good. And then for the rest of the Perform Pal engine, just 1 of each of these guys. I would love to play more than this, but only 1 normal summon per turn. And the fact that it's limited, I guess. I only played 1. And I would only play 1 Geet Turtle. I never wanted a second one, ever. That shit was ass. That's it for the Perform Pals. For the Draco Slayer part, I just maxed out on the engine. A lot of people play 2 Vector, but I think you really need to play 3 because in the mirror match, making this with Draco Slayer is just an overkill. And there was times where the third one came up because of the Painful Decision or the Luster. I would open up 2 of these pretty often, and the same thing happened at Atlanta, so I learned from my lesson and I decided to play 3 of it. Regardless of even Hoban playing 2, I had to play 3. Then for the, I guess, the utility pendulums, I played 3 Ariadne, which a lot of people play 2 of, but I really wanted to open up this card because in Atlanta I played 2 and I never fucking saw it, and every time I opened up Ariadne I won, except for one game where the guy opened the perfect out to my hand. So, but for the most part, playing 3 was really good, and opening it up just meant game. With either this or like sometimes I'd pop it with Master and then pendulum summon it back and do more shenanigans. And then 2 Archfiend Eccentrics main deck was really, really good. I would never play 3 and I would not play 1, but playing 2 was a really good number because I would draw it sometimes, and if not, I would just search it with Magister Paladin for my next play, for my next turn. And that's it for monsters. I think it was 22 monsters, and they're all pendulum monsters, so that no matter with what the combo of any 2 monsters, I can wavering for combo. Like if I played Rescue Rabbit or something, I'd feel like I'd open that and a pendulum monster and not be able to combo. So then for spells, 3 upstarts for consistency, 3 wavering for consistency, and 3 Draco Face-Off for consistency. I guess this is for consistency too, but I'd only play 2 because I would like to play cards that I can actually resolve, and I would never be able to ever resolve more than 2 painful decisions. I could resolve 3 Draco Face-Off because I play 3 Vector, and yeah, I mean, I guess you could play Flash Knight to have a high scale searchable, but that's not good. And then for the other spell cards, I played 1 Instant Fusion and 1 Raigeki. Raigeki was not used the whole day, but whatever, and Instant Fusion was used like 4 times. 3 times to make King of the Pharaoh Imps just to search a high scale because you play such a low amount of them. And once to make Rafflesia that got outed. And then for traps, 3 Strike, Warning, and Bottomless. Bottomless was terrible. I cut it for Giant Hand and Rafflesia as soon as it comes out because Bottomless was really subpar all day. That's it for the main deck, 40 cards obviously. For extra deck was Nodin for Instant Fusion, 2 Dino Stirs. The second one came up once, I think. Yeah, triple Ignister, the third one never came up, but I made 2 very often, and having just the ability to, if I needed to, go to the third one came up. Oh, I had the option, so it made me feel good. 2 Magister Paladin, the second one never came up, but I made the one every match. And then Felgrand, shout out to Alejandro for letting me borrow it, but I don't have it anymore. Felgrand I made once, because sometimes you make a turn 1 board with like Dinosaur Ignister, and you kind of get blown out by Dark Hole Raigeki, so you want to make a card that can at least live, and it's 2800. And then the rest of the extra deck was 1 Master Kibido. I made this very often versus Monarchs, protecting Masker Restrict. Won me like 3 out of my 5 Monarch matches. High Skill Searcher. Castel I think I made once. Direwolf I made 0 times. Abyss Dweller I made 0 times. And Rafflesia I made like once because I always drew Bottomless. And the one time I summoned it got outed. That's it for extra. Then for side deck. My side deck was pretty bad, I'm not even gonna lie. 3 Max C's going second in the mirror match. I like it not because it's good, but because it puts pressure on your opponent, so they're not gonna go off as much as they normally would. But other than that, it's really subpar, I think, right now. Rain Goat, this card is ass. Thanks to Alejandro for making me side this. It was for the Monarch FTK deck. It just wasted an extra deck spot because I never played versus the deck, but I had the option to, and it looks cute as fuck. And yeah, I mean, it did what I had to do, waste a spot on my extra deck. 1 Gamma Seal, just 1. Like, I would prefer to play 2 over this, but Alejandro told me to, and I was like, fuck it, I'll do it right before the event. And the purpose of this is obviously versus Cosmo, but versus Super Quantums, if you max see them, like, you'll eventually draw into Gamma Seal, because you literally give you like 18 draws or something like that, something retarded. And yeah, then you just out it, and then you win because they have nothing else. 3 space versus random shit. I never sided in 3. with this, between this and between this and eccentric, we had enough back row destruction. I felt like this would have been more sided versus like Burning Abyss or Phantom Knights or something like that flooded you. But I only played versus 5 Monarchs, 3 Mirror Matches, and 1 Cosmo. So I never played versus anything that's too floody. Obviously, Monarchs floodgate you with the lane, but we have Raigeki, eccentric, etc. So I only sided in like 1 or 2 of this max at a time. 1 Dark Hole, I think I sided this in. Mainly going second in the mirror match alongside the Maxis, so that when they make their turn 1 board, you just Dark Hole them, and then you have a lot of cards to answer their back row. And then the last cards were 2 Imperial Iron Wall versus obviously Cosmo. And then versus Monarchs, I played 2 Master Restricts and 2 Chaos Trapels. These cards were just fantastic, and the fact that I played 5 of them, it really came up a lot. This is searchable off Ariadne, obviously, and yeah, it just puts a lot of pressure on them. When you reveal 2 of this and a warning, you automatically get a warning versus their deck. And then Master Restrict plus Key Beetle Lock was instant game. Almost no one had outs to it. And the only reason I lost to the Monarch guy that I did lose to was because he went first and he opened 1-for-1 and ended up making Erebus, Vanity's Fiend with March of the Monarchs and Domain. So I really didn't have, unless I drew Retarded, and he had a card off my hand with Erebus too, so I had to literally draw like a perfect out to that, but I didn't, so I lost. But yeah, that's pretty much it for the deck profile. Thank you guys for watching, and see you guys around, I guess.